In this video, I'm going to talk about how to lower stress. So, what is cortisol? Cortisol is a hormone released by the adrenal glands and it is secreted in larger amounts during periods of psychologic stress. It is controlled by the HPA axis, particularly the hypothalamus produces corticotropic releasing hormone, which stimulates the anterior pituitary to produce adrenocorticotropic hormone, and ACTH stimulates the adrenals to release cortisol. So, you may be asking yourself, why should cortisol be low? High cortisol is associated with different problems. It breaks down the protein in order to produce glucose for the body through the process of gluconeogenesis. So, it breaks the amino acids, and this is not a good thing because from the amino acids, it produces fuel for the body. High cortisol can contribute to insulin resistance by inhibiting the effect that insulin has on uptaking glucose in the muscle. So, for example, if you're building muscle, okay, you become more insulin sensitive, but by constantly having high cortisol, this process is impaired, okay, because cortisol inhibits, as I said, the effects that insulin has on uptaking glucose in your muscles. It also contributes to the deposition of visceral fat, but you also need some cortisol for waking up in the morning, for example. Cortisol is also important if you are in danger and you need to run, for example, but also too low cortisol can cause dizziness and fatigue. And this is also what I experienced it once. And I remember that I think I had very low cortisol because I was waking up feeling dizzy and fatigued. And I think that was because of low cortisol. And here I put an image which illustrates the release of this hormone during the day. And as you can see, the peak is at around 7 to 8 a.m. So when we should basically wake up, and then the release of this hormone slowly goes down as also melatonin goes up, okay? Because melatonin peaks during the night. So let's talk about how you can actually decrease cortisol, okay? Ashwagandha is one of the best plants for lowering cortisol. You should take around 1 to 5 grams, although 5 grams is a very high dose. I also consumed in the past around 5 grams, and I think that this was the problem when I was waking up dizzy and also tired. It was because I was taking too much ashwagandha and my cortisol levels were too low. Effects of Witania somniferum cortisol levels in stressed human subjects, a systematic review. So as you can see, the results said that amongst the reviewed studies, the supplementation of Witania somnifera decreased the level of cortisol in all the 7 studies in which its plasma levels were measured. This decrease varied from 11% to 32.63%. So basically, ashwagandha lowers cortisol and also increases testosterone, probably because by lowering cortisol, there is more testosterone produced. And here you can see also the benefits of ashwagandha. I put this image in which you can see that there is an increase in LH and FSH. There is the lowering of prolactin. Prolactin also inhibits testosterone, so testosterone goes up, cortisol goes down, and as a consequence, testosterone goes up. Okay, but keep in mind that too low cortisol is not good, as I said earlier. So you should try to keep your cortisol low during the day, but in the morning you need this cortisol. Okay, so try not to lower too much your cortisol. So experiment with the quantity of ashwagandha that you take. This is another study that is called An Investigation into the Stress Relieving and Pharmacological Actions of Ashwagandha Vitamin Sonifera Extract. And you can see here that by day 60, the cortisol level goes down and also the testosterone goes up. Okay? So ashwagandha definitely is a good plant for lowering cortisol. Next, guys, is rhodiola rosea, around 200, 600 milligrams a day. And in this study, it is concluded that repeated administration of rhodiola rosea extract, SHR5, exerts an anti-fatigue effect that increases mental performance, particularly the ability to concentrate, and decreases cortisol response to awakening stress in burnout patients with fatigue syndrome. Okay? So this is also another plant that could help with cortisol. Another plant is, guys, also stinging nettle, around 500 to 1,500 milligrams a day. And the conclusion of the study said the inclusion of 4% stinging nettle powder in the broiler's diet alleviated the negative effects of heat stress by decreasing cortisol. So this is another study that said that it looks like stinging nettle can lower cortisol. Finally, guys, there is meditation. You can see that the average serum cortisol levels before mindfulness meditation was 381.93 nanomole per liter, becoming significantly lower after mindfulness meditation, 306.38 nanomole per liter. The difference was statistically significant in cortisol levels. So, as a conclusion, mindful meditation should be used in combination with standard treatment, okay? And we can see that meditation lowers cortisol as well. And also, I found another study that concluded that the pattern of results lends support to the view that meditation has a favorable influence both on biomarkers of stress regulation, such as cortisol secretion, and on sleep. As a conclusion, I suggest you trying first ashwagandha, then you can try also to meditate, then you can try other plants, and see if you have really high cortisol, how you can actually improve your cortisol levels by adopting these methods that I introduced in this video. Okay, so if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.